Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures, etc. And today, working with my flow journal, I am going to do something with this bingo card that I put in the kit. And I tried copy dyeing it, it didn't really work. So I'm going to be using some of the pattern piece, a scrap of the leaf napkin that I still have, and some music sheet. And also I have this little owl that I fussy cut maybe a year or so ago, and some leaves and some little mushrooms and this this little guy right here. So first of all, I'm going to start by putting a little bit of gesso on the bingo card, and that will just sort of just barely, you know, tone down a little bit of the brightness of it. And I'm just using this acrylic gesso by Master's Touch. I think I probably got it at Hobby Lobby. Oh, I didn't want to use this brush. Okay, well, I'm using this brush. Anyway, so I'm just gonna tone down the color a little bit, kind of fade it out. Maybe add a little bit more. Hope everybody's doing okay. A little later on, we're going to go for a hike with one of our children and her boyfriend. And we're just going to go, it's not a very long hike, a couple miles, but I like that it has some hills just to give me a little bit of extra exercise. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm just going to take a bit of this pattern paper, and it doesn't really matter how you put it on. I think I'm just going to put it on like this. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to dry the gesso, and then I'm going to use some of the Distress Collage Medium. All right, so I'm going to use this Distress Collage Medium to provide a nice collage surface for the pattern paper. Off some of the excess here. You don't need all of this, obviously. And then top it off with some more of the Distress Collage Medium. So you can still tell there's a bingo card under there, which is what I want, but it doesn't have to be quite as bright. I can see a few little bubbles. We're just going to try to take care of those by lifting it up slightly, and then dry it completely with my heat tool. Okay, now I'm just going to trim the excess off, and I bought some of these tonic scissors from Tim Holtz, and I really like them. They stay nice and sharp. Good for getting this stuff off, and they're made out of titanium, I think, so that it's easier to clean glue off of them. That's the theory anyway. I wish they were a little bit smaller, but the next size down is really small. Okay, so next I'm going to take this leaf napkin and adhere that to the top to continue on with the fall theme. I love fall. The colors around here. We live on Camino Island in the Pacific Northwest, and the colors are just gorgeous right now. It's one reason I love hiking in the fall, because you can see so many pretty colors on the trees. I love the layering with this napkin with the pattern underneath. And then you can still see the numbers from the bingo card, which I love. Okay, so I'm going to dry this off, and then I'm going to sew all the way around. So I'll be back when that's done. So before I do the sewing, I forgot I wanted to put this this little piece of music sheet, this scrap. Let me grab my vintage photo and ink the edges of this, because I want the sewing to be on top of the layers, if you know what I mean. So this is just a scrap of music sheet that came in the kit. And I just want to use as much of the kit as I can and give you guys some ideas on how to use one of the kits if you purchase one from my Etsy shop. Okay, so I'm just going to use the Scotch Create glue stick on the back of this. Okay, and now I want to make sure it's completely dry before I sew on it so that my sewing machine doesn't have a hissy fit. So while that is drying, I want to give this a little more substance. So I want to just grab a piece of cardstock. Okay, so I want to put this little owl on top of these leaves, and these leaves have a bit of a texture on them, and I want to make sure that it's going to be nice and solid. So I'm taking this piece of really light cardstock, and I'm going to glue it on here and then fussy cut it out, which might be a little bit of a challenge, but let's just go for it. And then it'll give it just enough substance so that it stays put and is maybe just a little less fragile. And I do that with some of my fussy cuts just because they have, you know, like this one has the little pointed ears and this little trail of leaves here at the bottom. And what that does is it just makes it a little stronger so that it's not going to fall apart. Okay, so that's on there pretty well. I'm going to take my giant tonic scissors. You don't need little tiny scissors to fussy cut, just so you know. I see a lot of questions on Facebook and, you know, comments on YouTube about what kind of scissors people use to do fussy cutting. And for a long time, I just used these, which I just got from the Dollar Tree. They're just kitchen shears, and they work really well. You don't need necessarily special scissors or tiny scissors, although for some people that might work better. But if kitchen shears are all you have, or Dollar Tree is all you can afford, you know, go for it. I know that the Dollar Tree scissors were extremely sharp when I first bought them. And there is a little bit of white showing, and that's fine. That's why we have ink. Okay, dokie. There we go. All right, he's ready. And so I'm going to go sew around this now, and I'll be right back because I think it's dry enough. Okay, so that little task is done. So now I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac and glue these leaves on, but let's make sure they're in the right spot for this little owl. Yeah, I kind of like that. I'll do this one first. And this one's second. And then I want to put the owl right on top like that. Just smushing the glue around. Make sure he sits on there good. And I do want to ink around this little guy. Get rid of the white edges. Have you noticed that Michaels isn't carrying hardly any Tim Holtz stuff anymore? In fact, they're not really carrying much paper crafting items at all. It's really frustrating. I know I've said this before, but every time I go into Michaels, I almost always walk out empty-handed unless I'm going in for glue. Okay, so I want to put the mushroom, I think, right about there. Get this back again. And I think what I'm going to do with this bingo card in the journal is I'm going to make a pocket out of it, or a tuck spot or something like that. I have this little mushroom sticker that I always have trouble getting the backing off. So let's see if I can manage it today. Okay, I got the backing off, but I don't necessarily trust the adhesive on these stickers, so I'm gonna put some Scotch-Crate glue stick on the back. A little bit of art glitter glue for this little guy. First time I heard of art glitter glue, I was like, well, I don't want glue, you know, I don't want glitter in my glue. And then I found out, oh no, that's just the name. There's no glitter. I think he looks very dashing. There's something about this little boy's grin that just cracks me up. It's like he's definitely up to something. Then I have this little moth. Let's see, I'm thinking about putting him right there. Let's wait on that. I found in the kit, I found this this quote: each new day gives us a chance to become more than we ever imagined. And so I'm trying to figure out how I can put it on here because I think it's really cute. So I'm gonna cut it up. And this was from a day planner that I found at Value Village. And I really liked the pages and the color of the pages and the little quotes that it had. and this is one I really like. So I put one of these in all of the kits. They don't all say the same thing. But I just think it's really cute and a nice sentiment. Because it's true. Okay, now the challenge is going to be to get around these letters. So I think I'm going to cut these so that they'll fit. However, let's ink it up first. It'll be a lot easier to ink if it's in like this whole form here. Rather than inking each little section of words. Okay, that's going to come off. So we'll separate each new day. Gives us a chance to become more than we ever imagined. And you know what? I think I better use art glitter glue just to make sure. Okay, so that is the bingo card all done. And when I put it in the journal, it will be a pocket. Probably from the top. What do you think? So anyway, that's done. I hope you liked it. This is pretty short, pretty simple. In my next video, I'm going to work with the big playing card. This pretty lady right here that I copy dyed, and now I kind of wish I hadn't, but I did. And so I'm going to work with it and figure out something to do with her. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps my channel. And stay tuned for more of the Working with the Flow journal for fall. So have a great day, everybody. Let the serendipity find you. Happy crafting, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.